All right, good evening, everyone. Today is August. I'm sorry, I said August. It's November the 8th, 2022. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you, God, for giving us the opportunity of prayer. Thank God, but thank you, God, for allowing us to see you another day, oh God. I ask you, God, that you will bless this broadcast. I ask you, God, that you will bless my guests as well as the viewers on tonight, oh God. I ask you, God, that you provide direction for anybody that's going through right now. No matter what it is, oh God, whether they're seeking direction, whether they're seeking comfort, whatever it is, oh God, I ask you, God, that you provide whatever is needed at this particular time, oh God. Even if it's something that they don't even realize that they need in this particular time. Just ask you, God, that you will be there for us, oh God, that you will continue to love us, that you will continue to protect us from ourselves, oh God. Just thank you for your grace, your blessings, and your mercy, oh God. We ask all these things in Jesus' name. We pray, amen. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for tuning in as usual. Let me know who's tuning in. As you guys come on in the comment, in the comments, let me know who's tuning in so I can address you all. I want to start with the Born Day shout outs. I want to say happy Born Day to No Saint Quiones, my man Eddie Ishmael, my man Caddy, who celebrated their birthday this past week. Felicia Mitchell, Kendrick Mays, my cousin Floyd Freeman, love you, girl. Hope you had a great day. Abigail Bryant, Dondra Newton, Joshua McCray, Nina Black, my girl Michelle, Honey Brown, my cousin Katisha Freeman, love you guys. Jamila Price, Dolores Jones, Calvin Hardy, Michelle Harrison, Henrietta Brown, Thomas Williams, my girl Adrienne Jones, who celebrated that milestone, Big 50. And then on today, we want to say happy Born Day to Brian McQueen, Rashad Pollard, Lori Whitley, Rodney Johnson, my man Big George Stanley, and one of my funniest friends out there, Joaquin the Hill. I want to say happy anniversary to Phil and Jackie, my cousins who celebrated, I believe it's 14 years of marriage. Salute to you all. Congratulations on that thing. Keep on going. Keep on making everybody, proving everybody wrong and just holding each other down. I love it. I love to see it. I respect it. And of course, my heartfelt condolences to everybody that lost someone on this previous week. I want to say, especially to the hip hop world, we lost two of them on Sunday, like that hit close to home. One, first I've heard about Hurricane G. Rest in peace to Hurricane G. Great, one of my favorite female MCs. Like people didn't even really know who she was. Who was that chick on Redman intros and different things like that did. But in her own right, Miss Gloria Hurricane G, she was an MC in her own right. Back in that time, early in the days when it was just like Queen Latifah and MC Light, you guys might not heard of, but she was definitely making her way and doing what she did in hip hop. So rest in peace to Hurricane G. Prayers to her family as well as her daughter. Prayers for Eric Sermon and everybody that's close to her that's going through at this particular time. And then our own North Native, my bro, Tane One, another one we lost from the group Artifacts. You guys might not remember them, but they was having heavy rotation back in the day. And I remember them from 18th Avenue, Artifacts from the wrong side of the tracks. Yeah, man, we lost a good one, man. So, condolences to his family, to all my Brick City family who's hurting right now, going through. I ask that we'd all come together and be there for one another. But rest in peace to both of those soldiers and everybody else that lost someone. If you have lost loved ones that you have lost over this previous week. And like I said last week, we had this time of year. What's good, Eric and Janelle? Thanks for tuning in. We had this time of the year where, suicide is very prevalent during this time of year around these holidays. whether it be because people are going through it because they're alone. If people are going through because this is the time of year that they lost a loved one. It's just a lot of people are going through this time of year where we're approaching these holidays. So really, let's check in on one another. Let's be there for one another. Make sure that they're good. You know what I mean? Everybody always says, "What's good, Joe? My man, salute." Again, now I ask that everybody will continue to keep my man Jew and his family in prayer as well. One of our viewers, one of my close friends and my brother, man. So, yeah, man, let's do that, man. Let's keep each other lifted up in prayer and get through these hard times together, because it's very prevalent. I can honestly say myself, like I remember Thanksgiving used to be my favorite holiday. It was nothing like getting together with the family and all that there, but since my divorce, like it's just now my sons are adults. It's like Thanksgiving just ain't what it used to be to me. You know what I mean? And it's not to the point where I'm just all sad, but I was feeling some kind of way this weekend and things of that nature there. I kind of had to pray and shake things off, talk to a couple of good friends. Shout out to my bro. I talked to my bro earlier, and I was in good spirits after talking to him, a couple other friends that I talked to last night, and I feel a whole lot better. But it's important that we have those outlets and that we use them. Don't just suffer in silence. It's important that we actually share what it is that when we're hurting, whether it's joy, whether it's pain, whatever it is, let's make sure that we share it and that we're not bearing these burdens alone. If we don't have to. And 9 times out of 10, we really don't have to. It's just that we don't want nobody in our business and all this other kind of stuff. But if it's going to make a difference in you being here tomorrow, talk to somebody. Please talk to somebody. With that being said, I'm going to get off my little tangent, introduce tonight's guest. Always good to see this brother right here. We met through Dr. Kevin Danny, our residential doctor on the other show. This is one of his military brothers. Me and this man, we had a few conversations. Actually, this is the second time coming on. And I want to thank him for taking this time out to do this. But none other than Mr. Jon Singletary. Man, it's good to have you back, bro.
What's going on, man? I'm tripping because I'm broadcasting in 2 places at the same time.
That's it. See, y'all, we got us a low-key celebrity on tonight, yo. We moving on up in the world. Hey, what's good, Miguel Quinn? Well said. We are social creatures. We need to share so that we can grow together. Absolutely, yo. We grow together. We die together. You know what I mean? That's where it should be. You know. So let's support each other. If we call each other family and friends, let's prove it. Don't just let's be there for one another in words and deeds. Let's be there for one another in deeds. You know what I mean? I tell people all the time, people don't care what you know until they know that you care. So you can show me better than you can tell me any day of the week. I can hear you say you love me all you want to, but if none of your actions show that, I don't want to hear it. I want to see it. I want to feel it. I want to feel that love. So thanks again for that comment, Miguel. And as like I said, I just introduced tonight's guest. If anybody have any questions for itself or myself, just put it in the comments and we'll get to it. But again, let me know who's tuning in on the night. Hey, John, do you have it pulled up where you can see the threads and see the comments as they coming up?
Not yet. As soon as mine quits broadcasting, I'll pull it up.
Okay, cool. So for those that didn't tune in the first week that you said, tell them a little bit about yourself, bro.
Oh man, Jon Singletary. I'm a single father, man. That's like one of the defining things. Special needs single father. Yeah, my son back there, man. He ready to go to bed, but he want to make a bunch of noise. You know how that go.
As soon as you hit live.
Yeah, man, for real, man. But now I'm the host of the Help Myself podcast, man, and I'm excited because I got a new book coming out here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You know, probably before the month is out. You know, we want to get on that Black Friday. So you know what I'm saying? So I'm excited about that. Excited about that, man. But I'm excited to come here and talk to you because I got some questions for you this time.
Hey, man, sounds good, bro. I'm ready for the smoke. But while you writing at the book, tell them what we can expect.
From the book?
Yeah.
It's called Powered by Purpose. So it's a collection of quotes from over my time as the senior leader for Air Force recruiting. So a bunch of folks that worked for me, they collected a lot of them and they presented it to me as a retirement gift. And one day I was sitting and looking at it on my coffee table, and I said, yo, this would make a good book. So, I talked to one of my editors, and we started coming up with some ideas. So what I do is I take each quote and I kind of talk about where my head was at when I wrote it, and what the what's the mindset of what I meant by the quote, kind of unpack it a little bit, and then I leave space for the readers to kind of write down some thoughts, ask a couple of pointed questions, and give them an opportunity to write down some thoughts about how they feel about the quote and how it pertains, or how it, speaks into their life. So it's kind of like, it's got a journal aspect to it, it's got that. So, I think it's going to open me up to bigger and better things.
Yeah, Miguel said much success on your book. And I
appreciate it.
As that information comes, as soon as it's available, I'm gonna make sure I pass that information along so people can find out how to purchase and support, because that's what it's all about, man. We got to support one another as a community, not just in words, like again, but in deed as well. It ain't about whether you know this person or not. I'm telling you, this brother is a solid brother. If you trust me, you trust my word. I'm telling you, this brother is a solid brother, and I guarantee you that you will be blessed by purchasing this book. If it's good for him, it's good for me. I'm gonna let you get to your questions, but one thing I wanted to tell you too, man, I love the Monday morning hack, my hack show. I'm like, yo, that thing right there is so gangster. I was reading the one, I believe it was yesterday, where you was talking to your boy, and he told you the story about the
hey, boy, when I tell you I was hot, when I tell you,
as I was reading, I could see it. So I was like, I know John was like, I got a sister that's the same way. Like, sometimes I'll be going through and I'm like, I just don't understand. It's like, well, Marv, why don't you just, and I'll be like, why you got to make everything sound so simple? You know what I mean? Like, stop making
I'm out here struggling and you just breaking it down, making it sound easy. I'm out here struggling.
It's like, but and it's funny how we all be like that in different aspects of our lives. And it's like, sometimes I tell people all the time, that's one thing I did learn though, especially the older that I get. Like, sometimes we're too close to the situation to observe it properly. Sometimes we're too close to it, so we can't see the full picture. We gotta talk to someone from the outside because they have a different point of view and a different vantage point, because they're not so close to the situation. So it's always good to let iron sharpen iron, so to speak.
Yeah, I got my iron sharpened for sure, man. But I appreciate you, man, on that, because man, just trying to put good positive energy in the world, use my skills and gifts to help other people. So, man, I appreciate you.
And you're doing that, bro. You're doing that. All right, man. So I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go and get one of your questions out the way first before I go to the next thing.
Bet. All right. So when you created the Marvin Bennett Jr. show, what was the purpose, and then what was the plan for it to become?
Okay. So this is my wholehearted, honest answer. When I first started it, we had our very first show the same day as George Floyd's funeral. And it was like, of course, I had already thought about it maybe 2 or 3 weeks prior. And I really like where we were at as a country, where we were at as a people at that particular time. I thought about like how, especially doing when coronavirus was brand new. We had just lost my bishop personally, me and Kev, in January. In the same weekend that we lost Kobe. And it was like, so much was going on. This was January. Coronavirus and all the curfews and everything started in March, and the stay-at-homes and all this other kind of stuff. And it was like, yo, people are kind of silently going mad, in my opinion, so to speak. And it was like, when I think about the Stephen Colbert's and the Dave Letterman's and the late night shows, it's like we could always go on, turn on the TV at 11:30 at night Eastern time and find out what these celebrities think. I thought like during this time where we were in such this rest, I felt like it would be cool to have a platform where regular folk like me and you know what I mean? We could come on here, we could chop it up, we could talk. people could ask their questions, people could leave their comments and just feel like they're being heard. Because none of us had any answers right now. Everybody was totally in frustration. We was given information thrown to us in pieces. We wasn't even no mention of a vaccine yet and all this other kind of stuff. We still trying to figure out what is the China flu and all this other kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, people, I'm not calling no China flu. It's just that that's what it was during that particular time. You know what I mean? No disrespect to the China people in China, none of that. But it was like all of this stuff was just like, I wanted to say somewhere, you know what? Even if just an hour a week, we could kind of just turn the world off, come together, and feel comfortable, just amongst ourselves. So to answer your second question, where did I want to see it go was everybody that's close in my circle, they know how much I literally love Arsenio Hall. Like, Arsenio Hall was my guy. I still have exactly I still got VHS, bro, to this day, where I have shows that was recorded. You know what I mean? And every once in a while, I throw it in the VCR. Yeah, I still have a working VCR, people. So I let any of you Cowboy fans that want to watch you guys in the Super Bowl, come on by. I got to take a dig at the Cowboys. Every chance I get. That's the only way you're going to see you guys in the Super Bowl. We got to go back to this. But it was like, I created, I'm a big fan of the Bill Maher show. I don't always agree what he loves, but I love the platform and how they're able to go on there and talk and speak their mind and whatnot, debate, go back and forth, whether you agree or not. I just love that energy. So I was like, if I could kind of mesh the two, that would be cool. If I could have an Arsenio Hall meets Bill Maher, where we could have these different panels. Sometimes we could have one-on-one guests like Arsenio did. Sometimes we could have that panel discussion. We did quite a few panel shows. I absolutely had fun with doing those. I'm planning on doing more coming up in the future. And I want to get you on one of those too, because I want to do. You mentioned that you're a father, a single father, special needs. We did a show on autism previously with Rochelle Ducker, and I know a couple of other people that wanted to get involved in one. We did one with Tori Britton as well, and I kind of wanted to come together because I personally don't know anyone that suffers from autism immediately close to me. But I did want to get that information out there because so many times, just because we're not close to a situation, like I said earlier, doesn't mean that we shouldn't have that information. I don't know anybody that's impacted by breast cancer, but I rock my pink all October. I rock my pink, all year because it's a worthy cause as far as I'm concerned. And I really want to do another show on that there where we can get together and you guys could kind of help us be able to help you guys. You know what I mean? In whatever way that we can. Whether it's if we're in the area, if we could just come by sometime and take the kids to the mall, get some ice cream, take them out for a meal, take them to a movie or something, to give you guys just an hour or two break or whatever the case may be. Because it takes a village. It takes a village. And I really wish that we would get back to that kind of mindset as opposed to just me and mine. Making sure me and mine good. I got to worry about me and mine. Like, let's get back to that community-oriented type thing. So, in all, pretty much that's where it came from. Just giving people a voice, giving people an outlet where they could be heard. I don't care whether you. Now, I try to explain that to people, especially in the beginning of the show too. Now, you're gonna come on here and you're gonna be heard. Respectfully, you're gonna be heard. Now, don't get mad if people don't want to hear what you got to say. I'm gonna give you that platform, but everybody might not want to hear what you got to say. So, let's be mindful of that as well. You know what I mean? So, and here it is. We're going on 2.5 years, and we still doing this thing, man.
2.5 years. Congratulations, bro.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it.
George Floyd. I said, oh, he got years in the game. That's what I'm talking about.
And it was so crazy because at the time I didn't watch any news. I just knew exactly what happened, but I didn't really know much about him because by this time I had done shut down. I really shut down as far as news, CNN, local news, national news, all that. I didn't want to see anything. I didn't watch the news for maybe like 2 years. No weather report, no nothing. Because I was just tired of every time I turned on the TV, it's something different. It's something different. And it just so happens that's okay. We're going to start doing it on Tuesday night. Because, church folks, they got their thing going on Sunday. Everybody all day busy all day Sunday. Monday kind of that day. I figured Tuesday was like a sweet spot throughout the week to kind of make that night. Okay, people ain't really got no commitments on the Tuesday night. That's kind of the night off. So even if you just turn us on while you eating dinner with the family, whatever the case may be, let's do it. Let's do it. So that's what we went. We still been rocking ever since, man.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So now you're 2.5 years in, man. So what's the next level for the show, man?
Man, the next level is for me to get educated on the technology so that I can really do some things that I wanted to do, because on the first year anniversary, I let Kev and Lamar host, and they had some kind of questions for me and things. What did I want? What direction did I want to take the show as far as ideas and things of that nature there? And I gotta say, like, thanks to the people that's really been tuning in on a weekly basis and being a part of the show, man. We've been having some good conversations, and I'm really excited about that. But I really wanted to incorporate more by now. And I've been so busy working these two jobs that I really got to find the time to buckle down and actually rededicate myself to the show and getting those things accomplished. I wanted to have music to the show by now. I got a question from one of the viewers. Are you married? He said he's a single dad. I know that don't mean that I know he's not married, but we got
married. No, I'm not married. Hey, you ain't right. You just started.
Exactly, right. Hey, man, this is a multi-purpose show. So there's the answer, young lady. But yeah, man, I want, by this time I wanted to incorporate music. And actually, believe it or not, shout out to John, my man John Jackson, kid that I grew up with. He's already submitted me some songs as far as theme songs. So I don't have to just necessarily stick with one. Him and a few of my other musician friends, they've helped me come together and get a theme song. I just got to figure out how to incorporate it all together, because I don't know anything at all about technology. People think because I do this and how I do it, like, oh, let me call him. I had somebody call me over the weekend. Hey, can you get with me to show me how to do that? And I said, listen, bro, only thing I know how to do is just listen, push the button that say go live, and I hope it works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. I really don't have a clue, man. And it's like, even when I watch you guys, so I want to be able to incorporate my artwork. So I got an idea for where I want to be, my logo. And year one, we talked about it, and we haven't got there yet. But one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to have merchandise by now as well. So that's definitely part of my future as far as having merchandise. There's been, when we go back and we look on, and those that haven't subscribed already, the Marvin Bennett Jr. show on YouTube, go and subscribe to the show on YouTube, and you can watch older shows, get some good information on there, some good laughs, some good education, all that there. But when you watch some of the shows, there's been different things that's been said throughout the show. Like when we talk about supporting Black business, I remember I said something I know what I said was not to the effect, but what I said was hookups for high school. And what I mean by that is, like, so many times, we see people that's entrepreneurs and our brothers and our sisters, but because we know them and we grew up together, we want that 70% discount. Okay, if they're giving everybody they know 70% discount, how they gonna put their kids through college or whatever the case may be? Like, no, that's for high school. As grown people, let's support. I don't want no discount for kids. I want to pay full price, if not above and beyond. You know what I'm saying? Because that is my brother. So, I really want to show, I really want us to be able to support one another in that type of way. So I really wanted just different phrases and different things that's been said by myself and the guests. And I also wanted to be able to do it to where we can get those things copyright. So as we sell merchandise, you know what I mean? If it's something that you said and there's a hoodie or t-shirt being sold, you're the one that's going to get that money, not me. You know what I mean? I'm not all about myself. I didn't do this to make money. I didn't do this to become famous. None of that did. But any way that I can help my brothers and people and literally show that I'm a man of my word, and that's what I'm about. So that's the next level that I really want to see as far as the future, where we want to go. I want to see some of the things that I've already talked about publicly that hasn't come to pass. I want to see those things come to pass.
Oh man, I just subscribed to the YouTube. Look at you looking smooth.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, man. Julian
Man.
said you're going to get there, bro. Focus and continue to push forward. Absolutely, Ju, man. I appreciate you, man. Thanks, and thanks for being on, man. Just thanks for the support in general, bro. I really appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Okay, so you did pretty good on them questions. Let me hit you with one more, and then we get. So if you could have your ideal guest, it don't matter if they super famous or they around the way, who would be your number one person you'd want to get on the Marvin Bennett Jr. show?
That's a good one. Actually, I don't know. That's probably gonna have to be. I gotta stick with the crib, man. Gotta be the Funk Doc. He popped up on me one show that was actually a surprise to me. And then when I'll go back from time to time just to watch the playback, just to see, make sure I wasn't fanning out, because I had the president of the National Cannabis Party on, and she was like, "Listen, I know both of you guys are from Newark, so I got a little surprise for you." As I'm doing the intro that night, and I see the little pop up, you know how it is on Zoom, like, "Yo, Funk Doc is asking to be admitted," and I'm like, "I only know one Funk Doc." So he came on and he blessed us a little bit. So yeah, man, if I could really just sit down and have a good conversation with anybody and just chop it up about the crib, about their life, about how proud I am of, man, listen, to be the Funk Doc himself, Reggie Noble, Newark's own.
Yeah, that's a that is definitely a good guest right there. I know that'd be a good time, man. One of my favorite stories was listening to him talk about how Hammer wasn't no punk.
Oh yeah, yeah. And if it wasn't Red Man, it would have definitely been Mike Tyson. Like,
man,
listen, I tell people all the time, there is no other human being on the face of this earth that has more stories than Mike Tyson. Like, Mike can give you stories like it's nothing.
Sometimes I like to sit and listen to other people tell stories about Mike Tyson.
Or better yet, when I'll be watching Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson, it's fun for other people to tell stories about Mike that he can't remember. And just to see his response, "Oh man, I was a savage. I was wild." Like, it's just Mike Tyson is so much fun to me, man.
Yeah, nah, that brother, man, he did come a long way too. I love listening to him.
No doubt. Hey, and everybody, if you in the comments, you see the Help Myself podcast. That's John. That's one of John's shows there. Y'all please go support that as well. Good information out there.
Yeah, so the website is up, but the link to get the book ain't live yet. But you'll see it. You log in there. It'll pop up.
No doubt, man.
It'll pop up.
Let's see. I would love for you to talk with the Daily Show, Trevor Noah. Hey,
Trevor Noah is leaving.
Good one too.
Trevor Noah is leaving though.
Is he?
Yeah.
I don't know, because I haven't been following so much, because that's another one that I love too. I used to love the Daily Show because of Jon Stewart. He's another Jersey cat.
Yeah.
But Jon Stewart, man, like, I used to be like, man, you know, back especially when I was younger, I ain't watching that white mess, man. This here and that there. I actually tuned in once, and it was like, yo, John, like, he holds no punches. I absolutely love that about him. He's gonna speak his mind. He's gonna speak his truth, no matter what you think about it. But for Trevor Noah, because when it first happened, I said, I don't know about Trevor Noah replacing Jon Stewart. Like, I don't know if that's gonna actually work. But I will say Trevor has done a wonderful, wonderful job, man.
Yes, he has, man.
And I would really like to talk to him too. So yeah, Miguel, I appreciate that. Yeah, I might reach for the stars, man. Let me see. Julian said, "Get much green."
So give Mitch Green.
I might wide up his eye. He said, "Mitch Green."
Hey, you didn't knock me out. Everybody on the TV, sorry.
And it's so funny because I'm not a real big fan of him, comedian-wise. And Cam got a story for that. Like, we seen this dude in Oklahoma before anybody else had ever heard of him. But Steve Harvey. Like, I was a big fan of Steve Harvey on the come up, you know. But now he done made it though. I don't really rock with him as much. But it was fun seeing a part of his struggle and for him to make it. But anytime I think about Mitch Green, I always think about Steve Harvey tell that joke. He talk about the eye. That one is classic, absolute classic. Yo, what's good, Big Five? Thanks for tuning in, bro. Yeah, Mitch Green, that would be a funny man. I would have to be able to get the captions available if Mitch Green gonna be here though. All right, so let me ask you something real quick. You mentioned being a single dad, and that's one of your defining moments. And I'm quite sure I asked you this the last time, but I want to ask you again because, like, even when I see the picture, that's one reason that I asked you, can I use the picture of you and your son? Because it's like I know how much that means to you. Like, where does that come from? Just that passion of wanting to be a great dad, and not even just that feeling of responsibility. This is what I should do as a dad, but actually being in love with the idea and making it happen. Like, why is being a father so special to Jon?
Man, I don't know. It's natural. So it's just me not trying to be what anybody else thinks I should be as a dad or nothing. It's just me embracing it and enjoying it and immersing myself in it. Like, I got a great kid. I wanted to be a dad. Like, he wasn't an accident by no means. He was 100% planned. I think a lot of it stems from my father was absent. So I grew up without a father, no strong, well, I won't say none. I had an uncle that was around, but he moved far away really early on in my life. So I only saw him a couple of times a year, maybe, but like, it wasn't a lot of strong male characters around there. And I think just really young in my life, I knew there had to be a better way, and just the opportunity to do something different. And, I think about, you think about stuff like when I used to play ball, I'm like, man, would I have been more committed to playing ball if my dad would have been around? Maybe I could have, made more noise in college ball. But as soon as it got hard and I was working a job, I was like, man, I quit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you think about all of that, and man, I can't fathom having a child in this world that belonged to me and I'm not present, so I don't know. It's just a natural passion, man. I love being a father. It was just, just me letting it happen naturally and just embrace it. So.
And that's cool because I think I always found that like the irony in how, like you say, some people instinctively feel that way and some people just don't. And it's like you wonder, how could you not feel that way? But I could honestly say that one of the defining moments in my life was all hands down May 23rd, 1996, when my oldest son was born. And mine wasn't like yours. Mine wasn't planned. But I could honestly remember when he first entered into the world, it was like she was in labor for like, his mom was in labor for like 2 whole days. And it was like a struggle actually getting him here. And I remember my mom praying with us and whatnot, and coming into the room, and it was raining real bad that night. And I remember just sitting at the window, and it really hit me like, oh snap, like I'm really about to be a dad. And it's like, just that thought, it took me back to me and my dad's relationship, and what it was, what I wished it was, and all these different things and emotions. And it's like, wow, I'm going to be that for somebody else. Like, I'm going to be this person's example. And it scared the hell out of me. It scared the hell out of me, but it made me really examine myself and what mattered to me, what kind of image did I want to portray for this individual, what kind of role model did I want to be? Was I going to be somebody that they wanted to look up to? Was I going to be someone that he didn't want to look up to, that he was going to try to be the opposite of? All those things there, but clearly, clear as day, one of the most defining moments was becoming a father. And I thank God for it every single day. I thank God for it every single day.
I think it's different when you there and you watch that child come into the world.
Exactly. Exactly. I hear I was, man, it's funny as you say that because I always hear, hear all the different songs, boy, man, beat it up and listen, man, there is nothing that you could do to a vagina.
Nope.
A human being has come from there.
It's real humbling.
If your third leg is longer than both of your regular legs. Like, you're not doing no damage.
No. It's real humbling.
Like, yeah.
I remember after that, I was telling LJ's mom, I was like, "Ooh, you did that. God damn."
Exactly.
You did that.
And it's funny that you even say that. I swear, I remember the same exact thing. And I remember they telling me, like, well, here you go, sir. You want to cut the umbilical cord? Man, if you don't get them scissors away from me, like, do you realize what I just seen? And then you got the afterbirth and all that. Like, yo, what is that? It was a lot at one time, but I did want to cut the umbilical cord. But I remember looking at her and thinking, like, yo, hell or high water, forget all the arguments, forget the love, forget the hate relationship. You are a gangster. You are simply amazing. You did that. You pushed a human being through your body. Like, yo, that jump was like, yo, all I could do was just like, okay, what do you need? You need some, you want some white chips? Like, it wasn't no beef, no nothing at that particular moment. Because it was like, man, you just did something totally awesome, man. Ray said, biggest slice of humble pie ever met 8. Yo, what's good too, Ray, man? Happy anniversary to you too, bro. Over there celebrating. Seeing Ray too, man. I want to ask anybody, not that I really care, but the day is voting day. Did everybody go out there and vote? Did we make the right choices in our local midterm elections? All right, good. I'm glad you did.
Man, I saw a guy posted on social media, and I have to really second that emotion. But he said, whether everything turns out the way that we wanted it based on our vote, or even if it doesn't turn out the way we wanted to, he said, us black folks, we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right because we always figured out, so it ain't never been good for us. So
and we've always found a way.
So I want to share that, make sure none of us are feeling no gloom or doom because we gonna be all right.
Yeah. We gonna be all right. Yes, sir. I'm with you there 100% though. Like you say, and that's one thing I do love about our people. There's so many things that I dislike about us at times, but that's one thing that I do like when you study the course of history is that we're super, super resilient. And I've always, especially, I'm not that way anymore, but I can honestly admit I used to be a male chauvinist in my younger age. And it's like, just being a male is like, okay, women problems are just that. They're women problems. So that doesn't relate to me because I'm a man. I didn't really care about their plight, so to speak.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that was just my reality. But now that I think about it, because I always talk about how I know how hard it is or how rough we have it as being a black man in America. Me and Kev were talking earlier today, and I was talking about the fact of, how Kanye and Kyrie, whether you agree with them or disagree with them, how they come up under all this scrutiny, but how we live in a society where if you just use the word Jew, Jewish, you're considered anti-Semitic if you say something that they don't like. Whereas we know our history, they know our history. They talked about how Elon with Twitter, soon as Elon Musk bought it, the first day the word nigga, the use of nigga goes up 500%.
500%, man. It was everywhere on Twitter, man.
And I don't even have a Twitter account, so I don't know nothing at all about Twitter. I know 500% increase, and nobody's talking about that though. But we just said one thing that's true. Kanye said one thing that's truthful. Everything that he said was true in regards to, because he showed the receipts. He showed those people that own those labels. He showed the people that's in the media that's in these different positions. So where's the lie at? What about holding them to accountability? And even with the Kyrie Irving situation, I've been seeing that a lot of times on Facebook, different memes and whatnot. and it's like, isn't done intentionally, but it's absolutely true. Everybody want to talk about Kyrie, and like I said, I'm with Kyrie because Kyrie said, first of all, when he was going back and forth with the report, he said, I'm not promoting anything. Stop using that word. I posted something, and I said at the time, I don't necessarily agree with everything, but I posted something because I put it out there for educational purposes. Stop using that word promoting like that, because I'm not promoting anything. You know what I mean? But you still choose to keep on using that word, even though I told you not to. So, and from that regards, it's like, y'all want to talk about Kyrie posting the movie and Shaq sell out behind. I can't stand Shaquille O'Neal. Stop saying that you're from Newark, New Jersey. First of all, Shaq, that's another person that I would really like to talk to. So we can clear all this in. I want to get to where Shaq feel like he's from Newark from. Like your grandmother from Newark, not you. Let's be clear. You never went to public school in the city of Newark, New Jersey. If you did, let me see some receipts, bro. Then we could consider you a citizen. But if you ain't never been to public school in that particular city, you not from there, bro. Like, I'm sorry. You just visited during the summers like everybody else. You know what I mean? But for him to call Kyrie and Irving an idiot for posting this here, and the same movie that he's bashing Kyrie for posting, you had at your movie theater in our city of Newark, New Jersey back in 2014. So that's hypocritical, bro. You can't condone one man on that there. And at the same time, while all this going on, nobody's talking about Jeff Bezos or Amazon where you can still purchase this movie.
That was after Kyrie, man. I think they still mad at him for not getting the COVID.
Exactly. Because
they expected the Brooklyn team to bring New York back to prominence, and Kyrie took a stand and kind of messed up their plans. So they've been mad at him because they showed a picture of Adam Silver walking into an office all mad. I'm like, yo, you the same cat when you didn't want to let them wear Black Lives Matter t-shirts because you was like, so miss me with
that money got thrown at him.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people struggle with it because I know Kyrie done said some crazy stuff, but you don't have to agree with all of his stances to agree that the way he's being treated is unfair.
Absolutely.
There's nuance in that. Yeah.
And what's good, Erica? Erica Kane tuning in. Thanks, sweetie. But for Nicole Walker, Nicole was asking me to go on a little that we was going back and forth on this post, and I was like, I hate typing, really, I do. I swear I hate typing. So I told her I would address it tonight, but she was asking, why does everybody want people to boycott the NFL and the NBA? And I'm like, respectfully, in my opinion, it's because of the way things are run. And one of the things that I was brought out when I was talking to Kev today that really helped me in just talking, get some of this stuff out of my system instead of holding on to it is, that's one thing I've always said about these pro sports is, man, it reminds me so much of slavery, as far as systematically, how it's designed. You know what I mean? The combine. I played football. I love the game. I love the game. What do most athletes say? This is a game I would play for free. That's how much I love it. And what they do is they play off of that. Because when I watch the combine, I'm the only person I know that used to watch the combine faithfully every day, all day. Linemen, linebackers, I'm watching the kickers. I'm watching all this kind of stuff. And then one day, I think it was Bruce that I was watching. No, it was another movie where Mr. Bentley from the Jeffersons in. He was a slave owner. And it totally, it threw me for a loop. It's not Bruce. I think this one was Mandingo. This was the first Mandingo. And he's out there, he's pulling the cheeks and checking the teeth and all this other kind of stuff. And I'm like, that's exactly what the combine is. You know what I mean? For you to put yourself out there bid, you get up there, you run your fastest time, show how much weight you can lift, how strong you are, and you become a piece of property, all to become a piece of property for this NFL, this NBA owner. And she was asking me, what was it about Kyrie? Why do they want us to boycott? I said, because one thing about Kyrie is, and that's why I support him. I can't stand the Brooklyn Nets. I don't like the Nets at all, because when they was sucking in Jersey and we were supporting them, they still bounced on us and all like this. So that's a whole nother thing. But I don't support the Nets at all. But I do support Kyrie Irving because, like you say, in the beginning, everybody keeps talking about that he's selfish because he's only playing half a season, because they thought that he would force his hand because they thought that basketball is bigger than you or anything else. Shut up and dribble the ball. How about if you don't get the vaccine, you're not gonna play at all? And Kyrie said, fine, I just won't play. Then all of a sudden, if you remember, a couple months later, because it was hurting Brooklyn, one of the biggest market teams in the league, if they were suffering. So, well, you just ain't gonna be able to play at home games. Well, what happens to I can't play at all if I don't get vaccinated? Now I can play at home games. And what was so stupid about that whole thing to me was it only applied for the next players. You could come into the arena, be non-vaccinated, and play. So how does that even make sense? If you want everybody in the building vaccinated, everybody in the building need to be vaccinated.
What they said it was for employees of New York.
Exactly, and there's no way in the world to this day I stand on that. There's no way in the world that you can tell me.
They had to back pay all them people. They had to rehire all those people that got fired and give them back pay. So
exactly, Drew said the same people that's against Kyrie controls Shaquille O'Neal and a few others. So I expect them to go against them. Absolutely, and including y'all boy, who I used to have respect for, and I haven't lost all my respect for him. But your boy King James, he in the same situation. They all these pictures are showing up with him at the Jewish weddings. He's at these weddings with all these type of people here. But we know that that's how you making your money, man. So don't mess my money up, Kyrie. And if they ask me to sit you down and it's going to affect my bottom line and my $1 billion status, guess what, bro? I love you, but I got to come at you sideways. And that's what they do. They use all these divisive things to keep us divisive. So I try to tell people that's what it is, even with these politics and all that did. As long as we so divided, as long as we worried about black versus white, poor versus rich, we're never talking about the things that we should actually be talking about. They want to keep us distracted. Because if we ever all just sit down together, put our differences aside and come out with our own commonality, things that we can agree on, what type of world would we be living in?
Yep. So I'm trying to think who was it that said it, but it made so much sense to me. He was like, if you're going to make a difference, say you got to love black people. And I know that sounds pretty straightforward, but it don't mean that you got to love the ones that are looking for the same things that you want. You got to love the ones, you got to love the Shaqs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You got to love, the ones that's turning tails. You got to love the whole, because I think a lot of times because we're an oppressed people, we see our eyes through the lens of oppression and kind of associate some higher level of integrity to us. But black people got people that do their thing the right way and scumballs and self-serving folks. We got the whole range of humans. And so if you're going to love black people, you're going to have to drink everything that's in that cup. You don't get to pick and choose it. So,
and that's totally unfair. Me and Kevin were talking about that earlier too. Is like, it's funny how like when it comes to us, you with the Kanye. Now, like, first of all, because even Kev say that, and that's one of the things that he's hurting us. He's hurting black people. Kanye not doing anything to me because I don't let him have no bearing on me. I don't give him that type of energy.
I don't know if this is my age or what, but it's just like people be like, he's the greatest producer. I'm like, he had some hits, but I wasn't really into some of that stuff once he started getting all on the synthesizer. I wasn't into that. I like the older
808. Yeah, you like the old.
Once he got to that 808 and stuff, I wasn't paying attention. So I don't feel that same worship of Kanye. I feel like he always been kind of loose cannon a little bit. He always seemed a little off to me. So like,
thanks for tuning in, Simone. She said we would be dangerous and they know it. Wayne said, just saying it like there is some unity amongst blacks. Our biggest enemy is ourselves. Absolutely. I agree with that. But that's my whole point. Like we got to come together. It's like, what I was saying, what the point that I was making was, that I was going to make was, we talk about this thing like is we lump sum. Like, no, I don't necessarily agree with that. Like what's done for one, it all applies to all of us black people. Because it's like Chris Rock said it best. I love black people, but I hate niggas. Like, you know what I mean? Like that goes for any race though. You got some good people, you got some bad people. You got some brothers and sisters that'll do us dirtier than any white man ever would. Let's just be real about it. But, you know, we can't turn a blind eye out of our blackness, so to speak, to give all these passes. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, we can come together because everybody, you know what, I'll talk about that too. Everybody was talking about the Kanye interview, and I got to see it before it taken down, but that's one of the things that he said. He's like, could I be going on this tirade like this because I'm jealous of how they stick together. I'm jealous of how the Jews, they support one another, whether they believe it or not. Could I be coming at them like that because I'm actually jealous of how they work together and they grow together instead of just picking each other and tearing each other down in the park? I was like, that's a good point. You might be going about it the wrong way of making your point, but it's a good point. Like a lot of people hate on people not just because they hate. Sometimes people hate on people just because they jealous, because it ain't them. So you in your feelings. Why she get to do that? Why he get to drive that kind of car? I got a better education and this here and that there. So, you know, we got to get past all of that superficial stuff and think about what really matters. You know, our family, our friends, and the ones that help us rock with us. And then, like you said, growing our communities, man. Shout out to Dupre Kelly, councilman back there in Newark, just a hip-hop legend himself. But he's out there putting in the work. I watched him at a food drive the other day, giving away food and stuff. And that's really what it's really about, man. Like, it's bigger than us. It's bigger than any one of us. America said, I have a statement, but I just got out.
Yeah, she just got out of FB. Yeah,
I'm going to tread lightly, but our social media era made everyone crazy and super jealous of others. Yeah, true that. You good. You got the good, the bad, and the ugly in every race on this planet. Absolutely, Drew. That's my whole point. Simone said that's usually what it is. It's sad. We have to learn to celebrate each other, be genuinely happy for one another. And that whole part right there, a lot of times people can't do it. We got a whole bunch of Uncle Ruckus. Like we got a whole bunch of Stevens from Django. It's like, man, it's like we really got to support one another, man. You ain't got to really do it. Hey, what's good, Trent? Thanks for tuning in. He said, what we talking about, man? A little bit of everything right about now. We just talking about right now how black people got to stick together, which he's got a nonprofit organization where we all donate $1 a week. You know what I mean? Try to get some schools in our community and try to get some grocery stores in our community. Things of that nature there, man. So thanks for tuning in, big bro. Again, man, and we gotta really make this happen, man. You can't just support the things that I learned this from a guy when I worked at his car dealership when I first got out of high school. This dude was a millionaire, and he was talking about how he only had one pair of shoes for 7 years. He's like, that's why I have so much money, because I don't spend my money just loosely like that. I only wear one pair of shoes at a time, so I don't need a whole bunch of pairs of shoes. Like the way he was talking and the way he was thinking was so prevalent. But one of the things that he said to us, he was talking to a group of us. One of the things that he said that always stuck with me was, he was like, one thing about when it comes to investing in people, he said, if somebody comes to me with a record idea, let's say hip hop, for example, I don't necessarily listen to the hippity hoppity stuff, but if I see that a little $5,000 investment going benefit me or profit me in the long run, I'm going to invest in it because I want that comeback. So I started thinking about things like that term there. I don't always have to be in support of something to invest in it. You know what I mean? If I really believe in your cause and I want to see you win, whether I benefit from it or not, I'm going to support it because that's what it takes for any of us to grow. And yeah, for those that want to be a part of that, Trent put the special people helping people 0. That's the Cash App for anybody that want to get a part of that. You can always go to his page and check it out. I stand on everything that I support and that I do. This is a guy that he's solid with it. He's showing you the receipts as people he's constantly in there giving us the information. What is better, he's doing financial literacy, giving classes out, things of that nature there, man. So, you know, let's really support something that's really benefiting us as a people, even if it's not benefiting us individually. I think that it's really important to do so. Nicole said, why do we have to support Ye though? That's a personal choice. A lot of people really not. Like I said, I was
we don't have to support Ye. We don't have to. I think
yeah,
just
you really don't.
show the big picture, because whenever you looking at something like Kyrie or it's Ye, or a couple of weeks ago, such and such had died, then it was this, then it was that. Like every week you can watch and you can see where they want your attention to be.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever that's happening, that means that something else is happening. And so we don't have to let the media or social media or anybody else decide what we want to support. Man, if you supporting the people left, right of you in your neighborhood, just support somebody. We ain't got to support Ye.
Yeah, that's the individual thing. Jamal said fact. She said he's jealous because Kim was messing with Skeet Pete. Now he wants Black Power Man, please. That ain't why he was mad.
My man was on Demon Time when he first broke up with Kim K. And now all of a sudden he's supposed to be the person. Like, the part that offends me, like, you can support who you want to support, but what offends me is now all of a sudden Ye got all the answers, but it's been people in the field for years and decades and got degrees and experience running nonprofits and initiatives and stuff. But we just gonna go to Ye because he make good music. Like, for real, it's been people saying all that stuff that he's putting you on to.
Yeah, and that's true. Here we go with this here. Y'all give me a second. I lost the comment. You see him though, John, right?
Yeah, I can see him.
Okay.
How you lose the comments, man? Go.
Man, my laptop has been acting funny, man. It's been overheating. I've been hearing this fan going and everything else.
Yeah.
I might have to get it looked at. Yeah, I can't even see the comments. I'm on timeout for a minute. So you can keep a track of those. But thanks you guys for adding the comments and always being a part of the show. Because I try to tell y'all all the time, y'all really make the show what it is. So it's very important that y'all ask those questions and put your perspectives out there. It's not just about me and the guests, but you guys are part of the show too. So if you guys got any questions, whatever, feel free to ask them as well.
So Marv got me as the co-host now. So let me see. Jamal said he played both sides. Now he getting what he wanted. Oh, I got you, Jamal. I'm gonna take him over. I got it. Nicole said, oh, exactly my point. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, man, and it's like I get that. Like I said, my thing with Ye was more of an individual thing. I'm not saying that like Kyrie did. I'm not saying that I support.
The comments is popping. My man Wayne said Kanye is dealing with mental issues. He ain't been right since his mama died. We've been saying that too.
Yeah. Right. And I try to tell people that, especially not in a joking matter. Especially before this is before the Yeezy.
He wasn't never rap tight to begin with.
And another thing that we got to take into consideration too. I'm a Ye fan. I don't even hate to admit it. I am a Ye fan. I can admit that. But Ye has been narcissistic since day one. He's been narcissistic since day one when Jay-Z talked about how nobody even heard of this dude. He walk up in Def Jam studio, jump on top of the table, and like, I'm going to be the king of the world one day.
Right.
On day one.
Right.
So like you said, it's no secret that he's always had a head case. But when you take away somebody that's creative as far as he is musically, producer-wise, however you want to word it, however you want to look at it, when you take away their number one fan in such that matter, that's going to take a toll on anybody. And Kanye is not the only person. I'm not giving him no pass. He's not the only person that lost his mom. Mm-hmm. But when you watch that Yeezus, his mom was his everything. His mother believed in him when nobody else did. That's where a lot of that behavior come from. So when you lose that number one support system in your life, especially the way that he did, where it was so untimely, you should think she's going in there to get a procedure. Next thing you know, my mom is gone forever. She was just going to get something done. That would take a toll on anybody, any one of us.
Jamal say, why we got a champion for a man with mental illness? He out for himself.
True that there too. So to me, the way I look at it like this here too, it goes back to not supporting people just because. Like we quick to talk about how we got to stick together and support our people, but yet no, we don't agree with them. We don't want to support this person. What happened to us trying to stick by each other, whether we agree or not? That'd be my question when in terms of that. I'm not saying that I'm trying to get people to support Ye.
Oh man, you got the comments. You talk about Kanye. You got the comments popping. I want to see this same heat when we talk about something else.
Exactly.
Let me see. Erica say his behind is crazy, but he got some sense. She ain't gonna just let him slide over some mental health issues.
Yeah. The boy is certified. He's certified. Kanye got some letters. Believe that. But you know, I'm like this too. I'm a different type of individual too when it comes to terms like they did. I was telling Kev, you know, even with church and church people and how we grew up in church and things of that nature there. And I respect that everybody don't believe like we do. But I'm one of those type of people that when it comes to things of that nature, it's like if you feel that strong about it, like first of all, I was talking about how the fact that I'm never going to apologize for something that I'm not genuinely remorseful about. That's just not me by nature. I'm not going to do it because my mama told me or my pastor said that is the right thing. You need to apologize and all that there. If I don't mean an apology, you're going to never get it from me. That's just who I am. I don't believe in that fake apology because I believe in the golden rule. I believe in treating that. And if you don't really mean it, please keep your apology. Don't apologize to me for something because you feel like it's the right thing to do, but you don't believe in that apology. So I'm big on that. But in terms of Jew too, something that I was thinking about was not saying that it's true. You know, everybody's saying like how they wish that I don't know whether it's in the comments or not, but one of the things that Jew was talking about and we were talking about on different posts throughout the week was how with not Kanye but Kyrie, that you know I want to see him stand on what it is that he's standing down. Don't apologize because they asking you to, you know, stand on what you said, things of that nature. And I was like, in my opinion, my humble opinion, I believe that that's easier for us to say. It's hard. You can't say what you would do in somebody else's situation. You know what I mean? You could only say that's Monday morning quarterbacking to me. Like you can only say what you think you would do. You don't know what you would do in those type of positions because it's easy for us to say that. But let's say, for hypothetically speaking, let's say Kyrie is supporting anywhere from 50 to 100 families by keeping them employed, right? Because all his business attributes and different things and all that there. If you have 50 families depending on you, that's the way that they make a living for a living. For you to stand on your principle of what you believe, all those lives are going to be affected too. And Jew, I don't think that you call yourself a man of God. I know that you're a man of God. Like you got to take all in consideration all those different factors. You know what I mean? We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know how him standing on what he believes, how that's going to impact so many different lives if that's around him that we don't even know about.
You can see the comments.
Nah, I still can't see him.
Oh, okay. The way you was talking, it sounded like you could.
Nah. It still ain't came back up yet.
Nah, that's what Jamal said. You gotta stand on what you say.
Mm-hmm. Because I know that's what a lot of people have been saying all week. You know what I mean? And it's not that I don't believe that Kyrie is backtracking. One of the differences between, and me and Kev were talking about this earlier, one of the biggest differences between Kanye situation and Kyrie, two Kais, Ye and Ree, is I believe, this is my opinion, when it comes to Kyrie, I think Kyrie is in a quest for, he's inadvertently naive in a quest for knowledge, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like he's just really genuinely trying to get knowledge of self.
Yeah, young man. He just turned 30. This kid been playing basketball. He's been a prodigy and a star all his life. And
whereas with Kanye though, Ye does this stuff for attention. He does this stuff to get people like we are now talking about him, whether it's good or bad. Like Kev said, that's why him and Trump are so good of friends. They're narcissistic. I don't care what you're saying about me. You talking to me. I told Kev today, I'm quite sure somewhere in Kanye's brain, and I haven't had a conversation with Ye, so I don't know firsthand, but I'm quite sure somewhere in his brain, Ye is thinking like in terms of like, yo, how gangster is that? How many other people get to say that they lost a billy in one day? Now he patting himself on his back for that there, but at the same time, it's a true statement. Whether we think it's stupid or not, how many people get to say I lost $1 billion in one day? Not saying that should be something to be proud of either. But ain't too many people that can say that.
I can't read the comments now because they going northeast on you. I'm a Southern gentleman, man. We don't talk to each other like that. So you need your comments to come back. I'm not gonna repeat.
Yeah, I'm working on it now. Here we go. Let me see. I know they coming at me. This is all good though, because everybody that's coming at me, they love me too. So I don't feel no kind of way. And they're gonna keep on loving me.
No, I got it. I'm just saying. I don't have no problem with it. Just ain't my personal taste. That's all. Just not how I roll. That's all.
All right, I got y'all back now. He not thinking that. I think he is, man. Me and you, we ain't gonna be talking about Ye no more. Me and you talked about Ye 2 weeks in a row, man. I'm tired of talking about Kanye. He thinking, who can I get a new master? How can I get a new master? But like I said, he's that type of person, because even Trent was making the statement how Kanye don't want to listen to nobody that doesn't have more money than him. Well, there's not too many people that you're gonna listen to if you got billionaire status, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those people. He's narcissistic. He just gets off on his own self. So like I think that's the biggest difference between him and Kyrie. I think Kyrie is coming from a place of trying to learn and trying to grow, and Ye is doing it for attention. A lot of the stuff that he does for attention.
Yeah, I agree. Because that's a dumb. I won't say dumb, but that's not an effective idea to have. It's people that don't make as much money as me, but they way smarter. You know, like the mechanic that work on my car is way smarter than me. On that.
Talk about it. Money, as I said, money doesn't make you smart. Absolutely it don't.
Oh, that's the thing that we got to really get. People really be out here thinking, they think that Elon Musk is smart because he's rich. Like, nope.
I don't know nothing about the man, to be honest with you. I just heard the name. I know nothing at all about him. I know he's the guy that created Tesla, right? I don't even know what SpaceX is.
Tesla.
He bought Tesla. Mm-hmm. So that's not like his brain baby. It's not like he's the Gates of Tesla. Mm-hmm. Okay. So again, like I said, I don't have. He has no bearing on my life, on my day-to-day life. So I really don't care. Even with Ye, like I talk about this stuff with Ye, but it has no bearing on my day-to-day. Like, so at the end of the day, I really don't care. Like, it's not stopping my kids from eating. It ain't gonna stop your kids from eating. So let's keep it like that. Man, listen, I came up with the way for Black people to have their own, but they not listening. Now you gotta make them listen, bro. And yeah, like you said, and that's something that you try to take the good with the bad. You know, we're talking about supporting one another and helping each other grow, but there's always going to be those ones that don't support. But it doesn't mean that we don't keep striving, we don't keep pushing, and we don't keep moving in the right direction just because people, it would be nice, you know what I mean, for this one had to have this one support and have that one support. That's called life. We're not gonna get everything that we deserve, and because thank God that sometimes we get things that we don't deserve. You know what I mean? That's called grace and mercy. You know what I mean? So we can't take that for granted because everybody's not gonna always support us. And the ones that you thought was gonna be there, I remember somebody telling me once upon a time, like, do you think that I would ever? I said, well, look, to be quite frank, you did a whole lot of things I thought you would never do. So in my opinion, you lost the right to ever ask me that. Like, because you don't know what somebody else would do. None of this matters to most. TikTok and Instagram have more influence on our people than you could ever imagine. And that's the thing. It has the power and the influence over us if we give it to them. I hear people all the time talk about how they can't get on TikTok because I'm on TikTok, girl. I'm on TikTok hours a day. And you're telling people this? Like, I don't even know how to sign into TikTok. The only time I'm on TikTok is when somebody send it to me. You know what I mean? Because I refuse to become a part of this ever-growing thing where I'm clicking from video to video to video to video. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing that all for laughs and giggles. I got better things to do with my time as far as I'm concerned. Now, to each his own, if that's what you want to do, if you want to get TikTok 6 hours of your day, that's your right. I'm just not doing it.
Not 6 hours.
I'm telling you, man. And I know it's like that because I used to be the same way with YouTube.
Yeah.
I used to be the same way with YouTube. Like, I would never get on YouTube because it's like, oh, man, okay. I just got on here to watch a 3-minute video. Now, 3 hours later, I done jumped all over the place and watching all this other kind of stuff. When I know my behind was supposed to be reading this book that I just bought. You see what I'm saying? Everything is a distraction to keep us from what we really need to be thinking about, what we really need to be focused on, in my opinion. So let's stop falling for the trap, especially when we know it's a trap. We can raise millions in a day, but they worried about Kanye. I agree. Yo, that sounds like bars right there, bro. That sounds like bars. So how many people are willing to donate $1 a week for $52 a year, or $52 a year? And that's the people who are helping people. That's really what it is. It's just $1. Just like the 70-cent day kids used to be, commercials used to be. It ain't asking for nothing crazy. Just $1 a week. $1 a week. What is going to hurt you? I don't have TikTok anymore, but I read the privacy in terms of agreement. Took me all day, but it's crazy invasive, as most of them are. I got bars for days. That is the key. Absolutely. Which is why I do the show like I do it, but too, because and we're gonna wrap up soon, but that's why I do the show like we do it. When we first started talking about this whole Ye thing 2 weeks ago, Zoom was acting crazy, right? So I had to go to Facebook Live. Right now, if you go back to my show to look at my show from that night, because everybody's like, man, I want to watch the playback. I want to watch the playback. It's still saying that this video will be available shortly.
I saw you post that. Yeah, I saw that.
2 weeks later, bro. Actually, 3 weeks now. Like, come on, man. So they can't tell me that they don't know what we're talking about. So I guess what? Keep on listening. Keep on talking. Because I know that I'm pissing the right people off. You know what I mean? Anytime that we're supposed to have freedom of speech, again, don't have to agree with it, but somebody has the right to voice their opinion. Now, just because it goes contrary to Mark Zuckerberg and everybody, all these other people, now all of a sudden I want to be blackballed and you want to shut me down and, like she said, put me in Facebook jail over what? Because I said something that you disagree with? But we could actually go on YouTube and on Facebook Lives and see murders committed? Like, are you serious? And you're talking about something that I said? I just watched the murder. I watched them on Facebook. I watched a dude shooting out there in our city in Newark, shot the cop in the neck. This is live on Facebook.
And they let you see that all day.
But you want to talk about my words, not deeds, just words. Come on, man. Let's keep it funky. This is the key. We have to recognize the traps to stay out of them. Absolutely. Which is another reason why we got to really get these black businesses up and running. And I said it before and I said it again, which is why we definitely got to do another show on black entrepreneurs and getting that stuff out there. But it's not only is it important for us to support one another when we thriving in all these companies and we become entrepreneurs, but people, entrepreneurs, let's make sure our product, let's make sure our presentation, let's make sure everything about us is up to par too. It's not that I have a problem with spending money with you, but I'm not spending money with you for you to have no attitude or acting like you doing me a favor by providing me a service. No, let's have it together. You know what I mean? Don't come at me halfway, but expecting me to pay full price. Like, cause that ain't gonna fly either. Let's have integrity about our work and our products and that stuff that we're providing for one another. Good customer service. You know what I mean? We got people with attitudes and all that. It's a restaurant here, and I don't even want to put the name out there on blast like that there. But everybody was talking about how, you know, soul food restaurant in the area. So I got to check them out one day. So I called up there because I go online. I try to look at the menu so I can see what I want. I don't see no meats on the menu or whatever, right? Something was going on with the site. So I called up there. The lady that owns the place tell me, listen, I'm busy. I'm too busy right now. I ain't got time to tell you what the menu. Pull it up online. This is the owner. Okay, good. So guess what? That's $20 a month that you ain't getting. And I want to support you. You know what I mean? But if that's your attitude, like, you're not doing me a favor by having an attitude. You know what I mean? I don't understand that type of mentality. So, you know, yeah, we want people to support us, but let's make sure that our product and our conduct is up to par as well. Don't be no Kanye's out here running around. No, they didn't want to hear me hear what I had to say. There's so much things in the white Jews. I got the plan. Erica said, I was just about to say that. No, I'm not paying $10 more for some janky stuff. Absolutely, none of us are. Attitude is the key in business, bro. Yeah, man, Drew, because I'll be proud of you, man. You be putting up your little videos. You got the store down there. I'm mad proud of you, bro. Keep on doing what you're doing, man. I'm so proud of you, bro. Julie got a corner store down there in the streets of South America. Boy, I swear, boy. Made me feel good, man. I can't wait till I get to actually come down there and check it out, bro. You said attitude is the key, though, bro. You can make them come spend at you, and you can send them someplace else. Man, later for her, let's talk about building. Your co-host falling asleep.
I'm trying to catch up to the comments on my phone. Why you doing me like that, man? I'm not falling asleep.
That's Miss Erica Janelle. Yeah, man, and it's like you said, Judy. Attitude is the key. So that's my whole thing, man. Like, definitely support one another, but let's just make sure that our stuff is up to par too, man. You know what I mean? Let's keep doing that. That's West Side, where most of us is from. You know what I mean? Like, they're doing major things. They partner with I believe that the sauce is called Chow, CAO. They partner with them after the principal being on Ellen, where they're growing gardens at our high school now, right, bro? This is in the hood. This is they're smack in the hood. They're growing vegetables. They're growing eggplants. They're producing their own honey and all these different things. But they created a platform to now where these kids that are out there learning the horticulture and actually growing these different things, they're getting to get a percentage of residual income while they're still in high school because of this partnership. So why not? Let's go. And now we know that this is taking place and this is something that we dreamed about. Why not go to the website and find out how we can purchase some of these sauces? You know what I mean? Whether we go and use them or not, we could give them to the church or give them to the needy or whatever. The holidays is coming up. There's mad things that we can support, man. You know, even they got where you got the young fashion people in the school. They're doing their own T-shirts and they're doing all these kind of stuff, things here that. So yeah, I plan on purchasing because we can't keep talking about this type of stuff, but then doing nothing about it. Which is to Trent point too, like $1 a week. You talking about Billy Bad this here? You trying to impress everybody on Facebook, taking all these different trips and stuff. You can't afford $1 a week. I don't understand it. We have our own nonprofit that is in our hands, so let's make it grow. Absolutely. I have been back to West Side. I guess I haven't been back to West Side since '92. Nicole, man, you should definitely visit it up there. Like when I went up last month, man, listen, when I tell you it was such a life-changing experience to me, it felt surreal to be back in those same hallways almost 30 years later.
Wow.
It was like crazy. That was the first time that I actually been inside that building since June 28th, 1993, when I graduated. So just to be able to walk in the halls and see the different changes. Dame Dash is working with Principal Cook now to get a studio in there, a little radio station where the kids can actually work on their own music and all this kind of stuff there, right there in the school. They're redoing the whole upstairs on the third floor where the library used to be at. They're redoing that. That's the Oprah Winfrey Media Center. They're getting ready to redo all of that there. Oprah donated all kind of money. It's crazy. And then you walking up and down the halls now, they got all the positive quotes and stuff on the wall. Murals of Kobe and different things to motivate you and things of that nature. It felt so good to see this because one of the things that I shared with Principal Akbar and everybody that's on the live that went to West Side, you can attest to this. I can remember days and I've always been a little bit of an outside the box thinker or deep spiritual, however you want to look at it. But I can remember we would be in our English classes, right, bro? And you go to stretch, right? And you look out the window. What do you think is right here outside the window when we stretch? It's a graveyard.
Dang. What?
Literally a graveyard. One of the biggest graveyards in the city. And it's like, I used to think about that even in high school. Like, how am I going to think about my future or what I want to be? And when I look out the window, all I see is a graveyard.
They sending you a message. Yeah.
That should be illegal, in my opinion, for a school to be anywhere near a graveyard. But it's acceptable in our communities, man. I don't understand it. Let's see, you said, wait a minute, they got honeybees on South Orange Avenue. Dang, I ain't been there in a long time. Absolutely. And like I say, I'm the principal, he's taking me on a tour. The guy said, oh yeah, Mr. Akbar, you know, the beehives, because they got the beehives that's over. I ain't go too close, but I've never been stung by a bee in my life. And I want to go to my grave saying that I never have been. That's a little fun fact, Marvin moment.
Fun fact, huh?
I don't plan on getting stung by a bee. But he said, Mr. Akbar, you know, they're supposed to be coming next Wednesday to pick it up. We got 50 pounds of honey that's ready already. 50 pounds of honey, bro. And this is all going back into the school. I love it. I love it, man, because it just feels so good to be able to come back. So he asked me, he's like, yeah, man, you know, next time, let me know when you're coming. I'll make a time where you can actually talk to the kids. And I'm like, how awesome is God? Because it's like, I remember being sitting in those school auditoriums for assemblies, and no matter who it was, everybody that came out, they booed us, right? We booed everybody that came out to talk to us. It didn't matter what they were talking to us about. We booed that out of it. It was just the nature of the building. We was way worse than Apollo. And I remember being one of those kids, though, sitting back there in those seats, thinking, like, how cool would it be able to be to come back here one day and get booed off the stage like these people? And here it is, all these years later, God silently answering one of my prayers. So I'm really looking forward to that. You know, 30, this should be 30 years, this class that graduates.
Wait. You looking forward to going, or you looking forward to getting booed off the stage?
No, I want both. Because I even had a dream about it, John. I said, listen, they didn't boo me, and they really liked what I said. But I said, can y'all do me one favor before I leave the stage? Can y'all please boo me real quick? That'll be a dream come true, man. I never thought about it that Marv. You're right, very. Trent said the name of our nonprofit is Jackie Johnson's Community and Action Incorporated. Yeah, so y'all look that up. Check that out. Honeybees don't sting. They are just annoying. I'm from the country of New Jersey. Yeah, because I always got to ask you, like, where you from in Jersey? I've never even heard of that place. Do you have a website? Yeah, pretty much everything that does who have a website? Trent or does John have a website? Because John
I think she
is
was replying to Trent.
Gotcha. Yeah, and everything that you need is on his page as well, too, as far as supporting it and if I get more information. We just gave free financial literacy classes in October. I was telling them about that, bro. And I think some more coming around, what you say, in February, first of the year, something like that. Okay. No, it's not up yet. But yeah, man, just let's stay plugged in. And just like this here, I like to see this, John, because like you asked me, this is one of those things that I envision with creating a show. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like for people to get on here and network together, people that don't know each other become other friends. Here it is. I got a friend, like we became bros through kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ray's been on the show. Ray's gonna be on next week. So it's like, let's grow together, man. Let's grow together. And that's why I say I really like. I told Kevin I really like talking to you because it's like, for one, and you can speak on that a little bit too before we wrap up. As we wrap up, but you know, I never met nobody like from Texas, and you know, I don't know what that racism is like in that part of the country and the different things. You know, racism is racism, but I always try to tell people, for us in Jersey, it was a little different to me because it's like you know where to go, you know where not to go. Yeah. They don't want you over here, so we just don't go over there. Just like they know better to come in the north. Yeah. Like it's just that simple. Whereas in the South, and I always try to tell people, me personally, I think all racism is bad, but I definitely like northern racism better than southern racism. Because the difference is up there, you got coworkers up there that's racist. They not inviting you over to dinner for the house. No, you better keep your black behind where you're supposed to be at. I'm not even inviting you. Well, down here, they invite you over. And as soon as you leave, they throwing the dishes away. Like, I don't want to be a part of that type of environment.
I don't know. I was in the Air Force. I didn't experience some different racisms. I don't think I like none of them.
Exactly.
That's gonna be my stance. I don't like none of them.
And that's
when you used to a certain area, you just know how to navigate it. So like, I wouldn't be able to navigate racism in New Jersey, but I know how to navigate it in San Antonio. You know what I'm saying? So it's just what you know how to navigate. It's a damn shame that we have to know how to navigate racism.
Exactly. And that's one of the things
that should be the main point.
Like when we talk about oppression, right? And how it's wrong to see one people do somebody else. And you can talk about this whether you're not. I don't know whether it's appropriate to ask you on a pro or it should be private, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. When you think about it in terms of our military, you talking about how powerful our military is. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know if you ever served in combat or actually in actual war, but you have. Okay, so what is that like, you know, from having this stance to being a part of the so-called oppressor, so to speak? Here it is. You never see a French place coming over here in America, setting up shop and walking around and telling the citizens, well, no, you can't go over there. You got to stay on that side of the street under that there. What does that feel like for you, knowing who you are and how you feel about certain things? What was that like part of you as far as that military experience?
When you're in combat, there's not really enough time for you to unpack it like that.
Gotcha.
You know, because a lot of the stuff you telling people to do is because it's bombs dropping and shooting and mines and, you know, all of this stuff. So, and I mean, I think sometimes people kind of get the movies confused. Like, we do some of that stuff, but I wasn't never standing at the, front of a village telling people they can't go here or there, you know.
Gotcha.
I was, doing different stuff, man. So, and that was the one thing we had a conversation about, they program your mind to go in there, we the hero, this, that, and the other. And then one of my supervisors, he told me, he said, man, we ain't never gonna go nowhere that they not the hero of their situation, So when you think about it, they at home in their own country. Imagine what it would be like if you saw an army coming in your neighborhood. That's how I do. We call them the police. But
exactly.
But I got what he was saying. So, just going in there, we know what it is, but you know, when you're in the middle of combat, when you're doing patrols to make sure you know where all the mines are so you don't get your truck blown up or you getting fired on or you sleeping in tents, you don't really have time to unpack it that way. You're just trying to see the next day.
Now, I know I've seen it in the movies, and I don't want to sound like an idiot or just like total idiot. But is there what if there is a position like what is that called? Like the people that you said that's pretty much their job to go out there and find out reconnaissance, so to speak. You go out there and find out where these mines are and all that kind of stuff. Is that like a real thing? Like you sign up for that?
Well, when I was in Kosovo, we were in a minefield, so I was a driver, so we had to go look for mines because I had to drive through there. So it wasn't no special thing. It was we needed to know where the mines were so we didn't get blown up. Like it wasn't, no, it's real practical when you get out there. It's just trying to do the stuff you need to do to stay alive for real. Like, on the movies, they make it seem like they in some big, we doing the database, this, that, and other, and the strategy. Nah, man, my tent got a hole in the back of it. Where can we find something to patch the hole up because it's cold outside?
Yeah.
We out in the desert, all these carpenter carpenter spiders. Like, how can we keep them from getting into the tent and playing practical jokes and all that? But we do have special forces. So each branch, well, not each branch, but Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines, we all have special force. So it's the SEALs, the Rangers, the TACP, and I forget what the Marines are called because they're very rare. But so we have, special tactics folks that go do stuff like that too. But
okay. All right, cool.
You might have a dude that's the cook. So, you got a little bit of everything.
All right. Yeah, man, that's one thing that I learned, and especially watching the movies and stuff, like you say, I'm quite sure you've been in the trenches with a cat from Montana or Wyoming or from all these places that you would never even think about visiting or know that black and white people you even know people live there, period, so to speak. Yep. Well, like you say, I can only imagine when those missiles are flying, those bullets are coming at you. I ain't got time to be worried about whether you gay, whether you straight. Like, I ain't worried about none of that. We just want to make it home, man. Just want to make it back to our loved ones, man. Yeah. So that's the one thing that's one of the main benefits that I do see from the military is like we put all our differences aside for one common goal.
Yeah. No, you ain't thinking about none of that in them moments, but it rears its ugly head, I mean, so it's not all racism. Sometimes it's just people be different and you learn some stuff. Like, I remember I was in training with some cats from North Dakota and South Dakota and Minnesota. Mm-hmm. These boys was wild. I don't know if I can say this on the show, but I'm just going to say it anyway, man.
No, you good.
They taught me what teabagging was. I had no idea what that.
Not like soul play. It's when you.
I was like, these boys is wild.
Yeah, man, and it's funny that because I remember one of the first jobs that I had, and I'm ashamed to admit, and I'm thinking because I can honestly admit back in the day I used to be homophobic, especially as a teenager, stuff like that. There, but one of my first jobs out of high school, worked with a bunch of white boys up in Saddlebrook, New Jersey, and one day we were sitting here talking. And this how old I am, dating myself, but this how old I am. Back when I used to have the classifieds, you had the single white female looking for this here and that there and all that kind of stuff. You went to the newspaper. Like, now we got apps and stuff to make it easier. They got pictures and all that kind of stuff too. So, but I was like, what are y'all doing? They was like, they sit here giggling. I'm like, what's going on, fellas? They like, man, we setting up a date. So what they would do is they would go lure these homosexuals. I don't want to use I don't care about PC, but I don't want to say the wrong words. I'm saying homosexual. Mm-hmm. They will lure these homosexuals to this spot we got called in Jersey, Hoboken. There's a city in Jersey called Hoboken. Yeah. It's like right there between the water. You can see over New York, all that kind of stuff there. And they will lure them there and literally beat the crap out of these dudes after like the third time. And that's what they did for fun on the weekend. And I'm like, y'all really consider this like a fun week? Like, this is what y'all do for fun?
Right.
Nah, man. Y'all keep that over there. We got our own kind of problems over here in North, yo. I ain't got time for that right there to be even contributing that like that. Like, right. I don't understand like how people are like that. And to Erica's point, Erica was talking about how up there is not everything everyone does not have a gun. That Southern hospitality. Exactly. Like it blew my mind to come down here in the South, bro, and see preachers in the pulpit with pistols on. Like, that's just something that I ain't see up in Jersey, bro.
That's new though. That ain't old. That's new.
Oh, it is
like that neither.
All right. I know
it's riveting now, you know, going, everybody got guns. I'm like, I remember we used to have guns, but we wasn't supposed to. Like, we wasn't just out.
These people down here, they go hunting like it ain't nothing. 7-year-old Bob, he can't wait to go hunting this weekend. I'm gonna kill me a deer. And they looking forward to it. And I'm like, nah, man. Look, I don't knock what nobody else do, but y'all had that. I'm not killing none of guys' pizzas for fun, for sport. Like that. Nah, that's not entertaining to me. Can't do it. She said not teabagging. Yeah, teabagging. Like I said, every time I hear that word, I always think about Kevin Hart and Soul Play. You know, yeah, man, it's like when you so I'm all like, no, that's my baby girl, man. But yeah, man, we gonna get ready to get up out of here, man. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Did you have anything on the wrap up, John?
Nah, man, I appreciate you inviting me, man. I got my second invite. I'm big time now. I got to call my mama. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, it's the second time, but it won't be the last, man. I so appreciate you, man. I'm a firm believer in iron sharp as iron, you know, and I think sometimes if we want to do better, just do better. That's half of it is that everything starts. Tell people all the time, in my opinion, real change, anytime you see a need for change, it all has to start with a conversation. So that's one reason I like to do this here and talk to different people with different belief systems, different people of different faiths. And I want to get some atheists on the show. I want to really just have all these different perspectives out there, because when the Bible tells us, let us come together and reason, I believe that that's just what it means. I don't believe that God was talking about for that table to be sitting there all Christians or all men or all women. We need all these different points of views, because then we can start singling out, okay, we're not even going to go there because you all the way over here, I'm all the way over here, right? But what is the one common goal that we all want? We want our kids to feel safe. We want our kids to grow up in a safe environment, okay? We want affordable food, and we want affordable housing, and there's different things there. Let's have these different kind of conversations to find out what we have in common first. Then we can worry about everything else later. But let's just come together and build on the positive first and foremost. I think that's very, very important. So, man, again, I think that's real important, man. I appreciate you taking out the time to do that. I know nephew here over there about ready for you to get on duty, man. So I'm going to let you get up out of here, man. But I thank you, man, and I appreciate you. And like I said, if I don't see you before the holidays, man, you have a blessed Thanksgiving. What's your plans for Thanksgiving? Going back home or anything?
Man, we're thinking about it. We'll see. Right. It's all up in the air right now, so we'll figure it out.
Cool, man. But yeah, man, thanks for always representing. Thanks for being a big bro. And I'm gonna get with you, man. I'm gonna get with you just to get some tutoring on the weekends. How to plug in some of this stuff in and incorporate this in so I can get the logo or the cat, right, you know what I mean, the names underneath people, the things that they did. Even if I got to go to a different platforms. I know StreamYard, you had the ability to do the things like that. So, you know, whatever. But I'm gonna be definitely hitting you up, man. I'm gonna appreciate you. I appreciate all you guys. You guys have a good week today. I mean, this good week coming up. Really support one another. Let's keep everybody in prayer again. Shout out to Tame One. Shout out to Hurricane G. Rest in peace to both of them. And everybody else that suffered loss throughout this week, man. My heart and my prayers are really with you. Let's keep everybody lifted up in prayer. And like I said, we're a family here. Everybody, I know he has no problem with me saying this. Let's keep my man Jew lifted up in prayer, who was in the comments tonight. He's been going through, and some days are good, some days are bad. He lost his oldest son last month, maybe 2 months ago. Let's really keep him lifted up in prayer, man, and know that to support him and be there for him in this time of need, man. Because we just want to be there for people like We want people to be there for us in those times of need. So I love you, man. I love you, bro. I love you too, John, and everybody else, man. Y'all have a good week. Stay positive. Stay focused. And everybody else that isn't already friends with Jamal Fox, my man, my brother Trent, in the comments, go check him out. See what he's got going on as far as being a part of that movement. The Help Myself podcast on John. Go subscribe to the channel on YouTube as well. What's the other one? Black Men with the Purpose.
Black Men with Purpose. Yeah.
Black Men with Purpose. Go support that. Subscribe, like, check those shows out as well, man. And I'm going to see you all next week. And as usual, in signing off, DeAndre and Lisha, know that daddy loves you intentionally, but also love you unconditionally. So next week, peace.